Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Demzley Show!
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing else to do now apart from Demzley clapping man, Black Dragon. Clive, thank you ever so much for joining me on the show. I trust you well. I'll say it's a great honour also to have you on the show. Can you start by telling me your star sign and what martial arts have you studied? Basically, how did your journey begin in the martial arts, if you like? Okay.
First of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year and thank you for inviting me on your show, and hello to all your YouTube viewers out there. I'm a Pisces. I was born 1962, which means I was born under the Chinese Year of the Tiger, hence the name Black Tiger. I started doing karate first of all in about 1975, 1976. I was about 15. I started off doing Shotokan karate, then Kyokushinkai, and then I was taught by Danny Inisanto from about 1979 to 1981.
When and how did you meet Emil? Emil was a lovely bloke, great gentleman, fantastic martial artist. So how did your friendship blossom, and how did things start in that department?
The very first time I met Emil was 1995. That was the first time I went to Hong Kong also. Film director that was shooting a film at the time asked me to come down to London and Brighton. He was a film director and producer and he wanted to shoot 3 films, so he asked me to come down to meet everybody and to audition, and that's when I first met Emil. I train a lot with Emil and a lot of other people. Every time I go down to London, Brighton, we train.
What was it like when you was training together? I can't imagine 2 great people training together. It must have been amazing. You must have had so much fun. Can you just tell us about that, elaborate on that? Thank you very much.
Obviously it's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and it is a lot of fun because we can't stop laughing no matter what we do. I don't know if you've seen some of the outtakes on some of the videos, but you know, it's constantly like laughing, joking and having fun, and to me that's what a lot of filming is about as well. Not only being serious but having a lot of fun.
Okay. What are you actually doing nowadays, if you don't mind me asking? Are you still making any films? Have you got any plans for any future projects? I know you've done some advertisements about Unleashing the Dragon, which looks absolutely fantastic. Viewers, please check that out.
I'm filming lots of projects at the moment. I'm always in and out of different projects. At the moment, due to be released, is a film called The Faction, which I played a small part in for a guy called Little Casey, Antonio Fire. Great guy. He invited me along with a lot of other people to do that film, and we're shooting at the moment, and that's now due to be released. I think the trailer's out, but the actual film is out, due to be released online any moment soon. And there's other projects that I'm always working on. I've got tons and tons of like films that I personally want to do. At the moment I've got 3 this year that I want to work on, which are actually in motion, but I haven't started like anything serious with those yet because I've got to get the characters together. But I'm always like filming and looking for different projects and different ideas and working with the people. It never stops really.
Martial arts in general, are you still training the martial arts? Are you still involved in the martial arts? Do you still do some training for yourself to keep yourself fit? Okay. Train anywhere? Do you train at home or do you go to a gym? Okay.
I don't train anymore like I used to. I used to train every day at one time, like 3 hours every day, non-stop. I mean, that means constant 3 hours, but you'd be lucky if I do half an hour. I mean, I jog, do a lot of walking, but as for serious training, I don't really bother with that anymore. Although I'll be shooting a lot of martial arts stuff.
How do you feel about what Emil's done with his urban combat? How do you feel about all that? Okay.
Emil's urban combat is good. I mean, it's good that he's took his own thing on board and tried to develop it himself into what he wants. I mean, that's his own calling. So, you know, anything that anybody takes on board and then adapts it to themselves or try to do whatever, as long as it's good and positive, then there's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, Emil as a whole, he's a good person and he's got a good heart, and he does some really good stuff and good interviews as well. And in the magazine, it was Emil that did the interview magazines for me as well, for which I'm grateful for. But very good guy, because it's hard and rare to get somebody who's got a good heart and who's genuine. and he's that. I mean, there's a lot of like learning and disciplines that have to come along the way, but all in all, it's all good.
Do you have any favourite styles? Okay. Do you have any favourite techniques, any favourite moves, or any styles of martial arts you haven't studied and you wish to study?
You know something, there's a lot of things I want to learn to this day. I'm forever learning and seeing new things, so there's a lot of things I'd love to learn and study, but I don't get the time to do. But I want to move myself from this year on to being a bit more towards meditation and the spiritual stuff, so I have to behave myself and try and learn new things and change in that way.
Who inspires you? Do you have any inspirations? Have you had any teachers that have inspired you along the way? Can you recommend any books or any DVDs to people, you know, who wish to try martial arts? And what advice would you give somebody starting off in the martial art world who wishes to train or whatnot, you know, maybe can't get to a school? What could they do on their own maybe to start beginning training in martial arts? Okay.
My first and most inspiration, of course, was Bruce Lee, because when I was about 15, 16, Enter Dragon was already out, and that's what was kicking off, and everyone was Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee man. So obviously I wanted to be like Bruce Lee, you know, I wanted to emulate him. So everything was Bruce Lee, and that's what started me off. And I thought, right, I'm going to go into martial arts and train until I'm as good as him one day. Yeah, right, never. And so I did a lot of training, a lot of styles, went to see Enter the Dragon, and then was taught under different people. But basically, I've got no particular style or technique. I love all the old classic martial art films, you know, the Snake and the Monkey's Shadow, the Crane and all that. Those films are classics to me, and I can always go back and watch that kind of stuff and relate to it and feel it as well. So that to me is personal, and that's what it's about. Everybody's got their own, and that was it for me. But it was many other styles and disciplines all rolled into one, really, that makes me who I am today. I mean, there's other great karate people and martial artists that I've met along the way that's influenced and helped me. There's Asano, for instance, Grandmaster Hanshi Asano. Watching him over the years, and people like people that probably other people would know, like Karate Guy and Keith Barnes. People like those who I grew up with, they grew me up and nurtured me into who and what I was, but all that was karate at the time. And then obviously as I learnt more and moved on, I'd started different styles and disciplines as well. So there's a lot of people along the way that I've met that's influenced me in different ways. I mean, there's some people like who are good at martial arts, but I couldn't work with them like filming, for instance, and vice versa. So that's the way I pick and choose different people for different reasons. There's nothing in particular that I thought was brilliant or what suited me. I just took and used what I thought worked for me at the time, and it's forever changing. I mean, I could see somebody or go to a club or meet somebody and they'll do a move or show me something, and I think, hey, that's cool, I like that, and then I might take that on board, or you know, learn it or try and practice it and get as much information as I can, and then add it to my own tools and see what I can do with it. That's what I'm all about, really. But I'm not set in stone or in a box in any particular style.
And could you leave us with a quote that we could take away and, you know, use it for ourselves, if you like, if you've got any words of wisdom? And might I ask one more question, Clive? Could you please now demonstrate some techniques? Okay, so let's put you on the spot and all that, but like, you know, it's a new thing I'm doing with the show, so it's up to you. You can do it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's a great pleasure. Please, everybody, check him out.
As for me showing some technique, I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'll do another one with demonstrating some techniques for you, and some fight scenes and stuff, so maybe, you know, that will give you something to entertain you for a while. I haven't got a quote in particular. Another great thing I believe in is developing yourself. Mainly, if you've got an art or a hobby, something that you knew from a kid you wanted to do, and it's in you, you know, it's part of you, that is what I think you should nurture. So my quote of the day is to self-development. Develop yourself, be who you want to be. Thank you for inviting me to your Demzley show, and I hope we all can work together into the future. It's now 2010, new start, new things ahead, and let's all do it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching
The Demzley Show!
you want to fight me? Aha!